There is a chasm growing inside Russia. That chasm affects lots of areas of life of regular people, including politics, including political views. There is a huge battle right now between the liberals, so-called liberals, and so-called patriots. And that fight is fueled none other but our lovely Russian government. That's a fact. This is what's going on in the society. I myself consider, I consider myself conservative. This is the way that I was taught, brought up. I guess I learned from my mom and dad, from my grandparents, and from people around me. And they were all fairly conservative. And I also kind of became conservative. When I came to the United States, when I was 20 years old, I basically faced the fact that there were two parties in the United States, and they were Democrats and Republicans. They still are. And, I tried to learn the difference between the two parties, and I was explained, and I found myself to be a Republican. Not extreme, moderate, but I had Republican values. They are God, family, hard work, and freedom. 4 core values that I have, and my life has been spinning, has been built around these 4 values. That's Republican, fairly conservative. I am a very conservative guy in pretty much all areas of life. Food, jobs that I've taken, clothing. Yeah, just, I'm conservative. I like it. Well, imagine how surprised and even shocked I was when, upon returning to Russia some 20 years ago, me, with all my conservative values, I was called the liberal. Howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin, and welcome to Inside Russia, where I am streaming live. I stream live every day, giving you updates on what is happening in Russia, what events unfolding, giving you my opinions. I am outside of Russia in Uzbekistan these days, but Russia is still inside me. Therefore, this is Inside Russia. I would like to talk about very interesting issue, very interesting topic. Liberals versus patriots in Russia. There's a stand, I would say a fight, not a fierce fight, but there is a fight. And definitely a great deal of brainwashing. Like I said, I was called liberal as soon as I landed to Russia. I was talking to my friends and we were discussing life in general. You know how it is, and they heard what I stand for and I said, well, you're pretty liberal. I said, what? Me? I'm liberal? Yep. Okay, whatever. Funny that Russian society is actually quite liberal itself. It's built upon liberal values, you see. Just for example, what are those values? Strict gun control. That's a liberal value. I'm comparing with the Democratic Party and the liberals in the United States because I kind of have nothing else to compare with other countries. So, strict gun control. The Republicans, the conservatives in the United States, they advocate for less gun control, for freedom to own and have firearms. And this is where I also stand. Yet in Russia, there is strict government control of firearms. That's very liberal value. Regulating minimum wage and how employers conduct their relationships with employees. Very, very, very liberal in Russia. Very strict laws, regulations, and rules. Comparing to the United States, that's hands down liberal. Lots of social programs, lots of government support of all kinds of categories of people, low income families, single mothers, there's help provided for children. The thing is, help is not huge, but there are many programs, and sometimes help is needed very much in Russia because many Russians are simply poor. Okay, but this is a very, very, very liberal value, having social programs. Crime and capital punishment is also liberal in Russia. Criminals are not given harsher sentences here. Basically, for a murder, a person gets around 7 to 11 years in prison, and there's no capital punishment. So it's safe to say that Russian society in many, many ways is built around liberal values. Not, of course, not there are conservative values too, but its core is liberal values. And the biggest thing is the government control, and in general, control of people. Core value of conservatives, the Republicans, is individual freedoms are king above all, less control, more freedom. In Russian government, Russian society is modeled after a completely different value. More government control. More control over everything. More regulations, more rules, more laws, and so forth. I mean, look what's been happening recently with the freedom of speech, for example. So basically, again, Russia is fairly liberal. Yet, what is in the rest of the world is called liberal, in Russia is called patriotic. Okay, the liberals are called patriots, and other people called liberals. Okay, so who are Russian liberals? Well, at least who are called liberals in Russia. Plain and simple. People who want changes. People who want rights. People who want more personal liberties. People who want fair court system. People who want to pay less taxes. People who want more control over taxes, how taxes are being spent, more transparency. People who want basically more freedoms. They want the governments come and go every few years. They want free elections. They want presidents, not one president for 20 years, but they want different presidents every, at least 12 years. In Russia, I think it's 6 years, according to the constitution. So these people, by majority of Russians, because these people are minority, so by majority they're called troublemakers. And it comes down to the history, okay? Because when Soviet Union fell apart, economic hard times arrived. Very challenging time. I remember I lived till the 90s. Although we had complete freedom, we had lack of money. Our biggest concern was to provide for families and to find ways how to live further, how to make money, and so forth, And people remembered how they had stability in the USSR, and they didn't like this instability. I mean, it's obvious, okay, everyone likes stability, but so they kind of missed those times of the 80s and 70s when the USSR was stable. In the 90s was so turbulent, so unpredictable. And the people, they needed to find an answer for themselves. So they needed to blame someone. That someone they called the liberals. The liberals is simply in the 90s were people who wanted to change the economy from planned to free markets. And you know what? That was quite a difficult and abrupt change. Basically, overnight, one system crashed, another system appeared. But it wasn't built, okay? It was evolving over 10 years. And it takes a long, long time for a system to evolve. So the people who were behind the economic changes, very, very unpopular move, by the way, to take responsibility for things. They were called the liberals. And then it was kind of a term, he's a liberal, So people didn't really understand what real liberal meant, and they were calling those economists the liberals. And then I take it that in the golden years of Russia, from 2000 to 2014, 13, 14, this term liberal, it kind of disappeared. No one was calling people liberals, okay? No one was calling the troublemakers, liberals. No one was calling the people who wanted to change liberals because everyone was making money. Everyone was living fabulously. You didn't make any money, didn't make good living for yourself 15, 20 years ago, only if you were lazy. Okay, that's plain and simple. So that focus of liberals kind of came off a little bit. And then, starting 2014, it started being coined. And I think that the Russian government is behind it, at least partially, because, liberals are people who want change in Russia. Liberals are the ones who want new government. Liberals want better lives. Liberals want more freedom. How dare they? This is our country. This is the government's country, President is number one here. He knows what to do. He knows what's best for the people. How dare they demand, something? How dare they demand freedoms? So, year after year, liberal was becoming more of an insulting term. And the liberals were, again, not called those people who are really liberal, okay? But they were called the ones who wanted change, who were active, who were outspoken, who took stand. They were called liberals, okay? They were quite popular, quite famous in the Russian society. They were full of energy, and they were a sword in the eye of the government. So the government was pumping up pressure, and then people were buying into this, okay? After all, you need someone to blame in the problems. The government is tightening control. That's okay. Because you know why? Because it's a needed measure to provide security to the country. Because our country is surrounded by the enemies, and liberals are the agent of enemies inside Russia. Liberals are trying to rock the boat. What do they want? Do they want a revolution? Do they want a violent change? What do they want? Be calm. Stay low. Okay? What, do you want to go back to the 90s when there was turbulence and instability and terrible economic times? Now look how far we've come in Russia. Look how far, look how great everything is stable. We have stable economy, we have stable government. You liberals, don't rock the boat. You know what, just shut up and stay quiet, or just leave the country. And year after year, this chasm was growing, and liberals kind of became scam. It became a political label that meant basically scum. Liberals were people who didn't want good for Russia. Well, they were considered people who didn't want good future for Russia. They wanted to destroy Russia. They wanted to go back to the 90s. They wanted to get everything upside down. And of course, they were acting and being financed from abroad by the enemies. Before, we didn't really know what enemies they were. They were just saying, the enemies all around us. We're surrounded by the enemies. After February 24th, it became very clear who they meant, or they started calling them by name. It's the United States, Great Britain, Australia, New Zealand, Anglo-Saxon world. Okay, the West, the collective West. The Anglo-Saxons plus Europe. Okay, our enemies, of course, we're surrounded by them. Throw in Japan and we're in real trouble, So, of course, the liberals were financed by the Americans. Of course, every single one, of course. Now it's clear. That's not me. I'm just translating the popular opinion here in Russia. So, who are non-liberals? They're patriots. They're not called conservatives here. They're patriots. The patriots support the government. The patriots keep quiet. The patriots unite behind the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin. The patriots support everything that he says, and the patriots appreciate that he has made the Russia strong. He has made Russia get up from its knees and stand up and stand tall. Basically, the patriots do not question anything that the government does. They say, well, everything is going according to the plan. And when you ask them, what is the plan? They say, well, are you stupid or something? Of course, they're not going to tell us the plan because it's secret. It's the plan. They know better. Okay, just trust them. And that's what they expect us to do, to trust them. I have been called liberal. Lately, a couple times. This is crazy. I am as far from being liberal as pretty much it can get. But yet, I'm called liberal. I'm conservative. Again, my values are God, family, freedom, and hard work. Pretty conservative. But again, I'm liberal. If you read Russian newspapers, Russian media, if you watch Russian TV, that is a very popular opinion. There are references to liberals and how they are not good for the country in general. There are joyous, joyous speeches how great that lots of liberals have left Russia and just go and don't come back, that type of thing. Well, as far as I understand, people who ask questions, people who want changes, people who want Russia to have great future, people who want to self-govern their lives, people who want to have free court system, judicial system, and to see how their taxes are spent and to be able to make decisions on how to spend their taxes on their local level. I think that is the driver of the country, driver to the better, and I think that is the foundation for a good future for Russia. Unfortunately, we're seeing right now that lots of people like that have left. Lots of people are in the process of leaving or have plans. And the Patriots are laughing. Well, so-called Patriots. I don't consider them Patriots. I consider, strange, but I consider people who are called liberals in Russia true patriots. And vice versa. People who do not ask questions, who trust the government unconditionally and call themselves patriots. Well, I have a different name for them, but I just don't want to voice it here. My friends, if you ever hear this expression, oh, he's a liberal, oh, he has liberal values, oh, he's no good for Russia, know that most likely you're hearing it either from a government official on TV or on radio or newspaper, or you're hearing it from a person who has absolutely no clue what a liberal person is. Okay? Unfortunately, this is the new normal in Russia. Liberals versus patriots. And it should be vice versa. Patriots versus numbskulls. And this has been my message. I hope I've given you a little bit of insight into Russia and how Russian society works. Unfortunately, I couldn't stream last night. I had an emergency. I put a community post and a special post for Patreon, my patrons on Patreon. Very strange time yesterday, about an hour before my stream. This new place I just moved into, and I spent a bit of money to set up fast internet. Basically, the provider shut off internet for entire night, saying maintenance works. So, but hey, you know what? Today is much better. Today internet is fast and it's reliable fairly. I don't think there's been any buffering or cancellations. So far, so good. I plan to spend here some time, and every single day, every night, for me, every day for you, I will stream as usual. Tomorrow, I have a great stream coming up. Well, you will see in the announcement today, but that's going to be a good one. Please don't miss it. I guarantee you will like it. I'm going to be talking about what Russian people think of you, people of the West, and there are so many misconceptions that you're going to be not surprised but shocked. So I'm gonna tell you how you are viewed by the Russians. Yeah, that's gonna be revealing. And right now I'm going to turn on the comments. Let me know what you think of today's topic. Let me know if you have any comments, if you have any questions. I'd love to answer them. I would like to ask you to use common sense before posting anything because, this is a very hard time. Although I'm out of Russia, my family is still inside Russia, I can speak freer now, but not as free as I wanted to. Give it some time. I have the best mod team in the world who know how to keep the chat clean, so please listen to them, listen to the rules that they talk about, and let's do it. If you're not seeing chat, then reload your page. You will have it appear. There you go. I have quite a few people I see. And guess who show up? The usual suspects. The sponsors and the patrons. Hang on, give me a second. By the way, how is my setup? This is the first time I'm using this, light, sound, and this space, so to speak. So please let me know how you find it. Howdy again. We have a new leader today. Göran Hagen, number 1, and then Mami and Lorna, also number 1, always number 1. Brian, Emra Makers, Angelica, Fairy Jack, Rezus, JW Spencer, Frank in Texas, Marty, Carino, Jesteri, the usual suspects. My friends, thank you for showing up and thanks for giving me a chance for another message. We have Brian Woods from Los Angeles and Donna Olson, who sends the first super chat from Beverly Hills. Well, this is also part of Los Angeles. Los Angeles is in the house today. Your new crib decor looks straight out of pages of Better Homes and Gardens. Thank you so much. I like it too. It's an overkill for me because it's very large. It's beautiful and it's expensive. But considering I have my family potentially moving in with me in the future, and perhaps someone else is going to pay me visits, like my perhaps family members and friends, because Russia is very, well, it's being feverish, okay, and who knows who's gonna take a vacation in Uzbekistan or move to another place through Uzbekistan. So that's why I got this overkill for me. But Donna, thank you for your support and thank you for the appreciation. Thank you. Great to see you. Amir, you look great, sound great, nice pad. Thank you so much, Amir. I like it too. Natasha asked me, why do you need it so large just for yourself? And for myself, no, I don't need it. Liz Dumbrell, thank you so much. I appreciate it. RW, thank you so much. This is one of the best sponsors and friends I have here. Says nothing is more corrosive in the meaning and use of language than politics. It makes and is intended to make thoughtful, contemplative, and incisive communication nearly impossible. RW, thank you so much. I agree with you, absolutely. You're a very wise, smart man, and you're spot on. Blackhead, the very informal mod, number 5 in our team. Hey, perhaps you want to become the formal one. Mark Haladvala, thank you so much, Mark. No message, but this message is strong enough. By the way, if you want to me to notice your message or comment, then please put it in caps and put inside Russia after @ sign, so it appears in a large orange box. That way it's much easier for me to see. KWNY Upstate, I know you were a secret oligarch and now your apartment proves it. Yeah, right. Yeah. You know what? It's not expensive. Not as expensive as you thought it would be. Like in Moscow, I would have been paying thousands of dollars for this. But much, much cheaper here in Tashkent. For locals, of course, it's, but this cost of a good 2-bedroom apartment in Moscow in the center of the city, well, not even in the center of the city, outside, on the outskirts. So not that huge of a deal. But thank you so much. Han Deathstorm, hey, my daughter is born. She and my wife are fine. Thank you for your praying. Oops. I was gonna put thumbs up. All right. What do we do now? I figured the birth took place because, quite a few days, but my prayers are with you, your family, and the people in conflict. My friend, tell me, what are we gonna do now? Are we gonna pray for the newborn, or what's happening? Is everyone okay? Stu K, thank you so much for support. Dear Constantine, I'm not a religious man, but I have had your family in my thoughts today. If you ever make it to Scotland, I'll buy you a whiskey. I would love to make it to Scotland one day, because you have the best whiskey in the world, hands down. Thank you so much. X Flying Tiger, John and Nikki from Lake Shasta, California. Conservative and liberal are just names that you can call the other side. Nice apartment, by the way. Thank you. You know what? I personally have no problem with people being liberal. Moreover, I have tons of friends who are liberal, like liberal. I think it's a very good thing to let other people have their own opinions and do not judge them. This is what, conservatism is all about, I think, at least in my eyes. As long as people, both conservative and liberal, have the good of the country, of the society in their heads, that's fine. Bob Slade, welcome to Inside Russia, new sponsor. Great, thank you so much, Bob. The underdog. Democrats in the US are not considered liberals. In Sweden, kind of same thing that is in Russia, right? Liberals are against big government, high taxes mostly for private companies. Kind of same situation what you're describing here. If you are against government, in Russia you're called liberal. But in the United States, you're pro-government. You're like more control, less freedom to people and so forth, more social programs, more gun control and things like that. So Sweden is more like, Russia in that case. Phil Monson, thank you so much for your message. No message, but this message is pretty powerful in itself. I'm going to the questions. Brianna, howdy. The number one NPC of CD17. Quite a name you have, howdy. Harry, Bob, howdy. Mama, two boys, hello, K family. I like that, the K family. All good usual suspects present, says Joy. Yep. Good question from Gabriel Olivieri. Good evening. Do you think this madness will end soon? I pray every day for it to end. I wish for it to end. I just don't see the end of it anytime soon. Even if something happens to the key people of this madness, the situation might develop in different ways, By the way, new teapot, courtesy of landlord. And this is I bought for myself. I like to have something that I buy brand new just for myself. Like when I set up my life, this is one of the things. This is a teacup. Well, it's not real teacup, but it's pretty good looking. Keeps my throat watered, so to speak. Sculptor, hello, Inside Russia, glad you're okay. Looking much relaxed than a few days ago. Oh my god. A few days ago, let me tell you something. I had never gone through anything like that before. Remotely. That was crazy. I am a little more relaxed, still concerned of many things. Still concerned of my family, my relatives. I'm concerned about my country that I love very much. Well, love, I don't know. My country kind of chewed me up and spat me out. Well, thank goodness it didn't swallow me. Yeah. RW has given a sponsorship of gift of sponsorship to 10 people. RW, thank you so much from me and from 10 people. We really appreciate it. 16 random characters. Thank you for your support. Conservative protect accumulation and consolidation of power. That's a reward success. 4x dollars equals speech. Liberals protect access to power. X protecting access for disabled voting rights. Okay, point taken. Thank you so much. My picture of the world has become a little better right now. Thank you. Amir has given the gift of sponsorship to 5 people. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Common sense. Thank you, Amir. Common sense. Drivers for Patriots. Improved living standards. Imperialistic nonsense. Keep Western influence away. Forget historical state crimes towards Russians. Well, I guess, yeah, they're talking, if you're talking about Russian drivers for Patriots in Russia, you know what? I heard imperialistic nonsense. Yes, they want Russia to expand and, expand and influence. Yep, that's definitely patriotic. Keep Western influence away. Yep, that's patriotic, considered patriotic in Russia. Forget historical state crimes towards Russians. That I'm not sure. And I've never heard they wanting improved living standards. They want make Russia great. Forget about they don't want like improved living standards. Russia is great, is enough. You know what I mean? Black Cat is another giver. Thank you for gifting memberships to 5 people from me and from the 5 people. Black Cat says best channel on YouTube. I don't know about this best channel on YouTube, but I know that you are best viewers on the YouTube. Yeah, that's for sure. Thank you so much. You're a family basically. Random person. Timothy Snyder calls Russia fascist. Do you agree? My dear friend, this question is so painful. It's one of the most painful questions for me. Please allow me not to answer this question. Donald Ellsworth. Howdy, Donald. We always pray. I still remember how you asked me to pray for you and for the United States, in general. Good prayer. Thank you, Don. Great to see you. R. Stewart, what is your opinion of the U.S. Constitution? Haven't missed an episode yet. I did an episode about Russian Constitution, and I think it was back in March or even in February. I think the United States Constitution is that glue that puts the society together. I think it's the most precious thing that you have, and you must protect it at any cost. The foundation for your wonderful country is your Constitution, and the reason that no one has changed Constitution, is the guarantee that America is great, the best country in the world, So that's what I think of the U.S. Constitution. But go and find my stream long time ago on Russian Constitution. I talk about that in detail. Great topic, by the way. Bob Slade, new subscriber from Lynchburg, Tennessee in the US, home of Jack Daniels whiskey. Good stuff. It's on sale everywhere. In Russia at every store, in Uzbekistan at every store. Jack Daniels. God bless you and your family in thoughts and prayers for Russian people. God bless. Thank you very much, Bob. Thank you. Appreciate it. Much needed. David Lowen, thank you so much from Canada. Is it Canada? Yep, from Canada. A few questions. Beagle Mama, thank you so much. Every dollar counts these days. Thank you for all you do. Relieved you're safe. Much safer than used to be. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ferrari Guy has a great question. Will Imperial Russia survive? No, no, and no. Has no chance. Perhaps Russia will transform into a state that will survive, that will thrive, will live. But the Imperial Russia, I think you know the answer. I kind of miss the old inferior microphone where we could hear the tea sipping. Oh, by the way, you can't hear the tea sipping now? That's insane. Wow. So many people were mad about me sipping tea. They're like, oh, you have great content, but you know what? You gotta cut out that tea. It looks unprofessional. But the rest of the sound is great. Well, I've worked a lot on to get the sound great, and what I'm gonna do in the very near future is I'm gonna start podcast. Basically, what I say here, I'm gonna upload into Spotify or some podcast platform, and then see how it goes. Perhaps I can reach larger audience that way. Donna Olson, liberal Christian in the house. Mic drop. Well, you're certainly welcome here, liberal Christian. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I have many friends who are liberal. That's all good. As long as you're a good person, decent person, as long as you wish good for the others, who cares how how a person is called? Brianna B. Political spectrums are based on location by country. I'm liberal in that I think universal health care is a basic right. Brianna, thank you so much for your support. Let me tell you something about universal health care as basic right. Here in Russia, we have universal care, health care. Doctors are paid meager. Nurses are paid even worse. And in order to get good healthcare, I mean, Brianna, you lived here for a long time, right? You know that in order to get good doctor, good services, you gotta pay. Okay, to me, that's not universal healthcare. To me, that's a mix of capitalism and some kind of social policies by the government, but not fair. Because you pay not in a legal way, but you bribe. You give a gift, you give a present, and so forth. Because doctors, they want a good life in Russia. Well, you know how it is. And that's what I don't like about the universal health care. The good services you must buy anyway. If you don't, they treat you like if you just go and claim your services for free, they treat you not so good. You don't get as good services here. That's a good name. Vicious Victor T. Wow. Thank you for your support. Hey, Constantine, keep it up. God bless. Send in my prayers from Virginia, USA. Excellent. Thank you so much. You definitely can count me on showing up and delivering opinions. Josephine, I take it you like jazz very much. Thank you so much for your support. Pretty cool picture. There's a new sponsor, Mary Pothoven. Thank you so much, Mary. Please enjoy your being a sponsor here at the channel. I will remind to new sponsors and patrons that every Saturday I do private live streams just for you. To say this, to show my appreciation, it's kind of my way of showing, like saying thank you for being sponsors and patrons. And I plan starting tomorrow, doing much more filming of a local life here and showing to the patrons and to the sponsors. Because I've had such a tremendous amount of people joined recently, I feel like I need to give something back. Mr. Alter Falter 123, pretty cool name again. €5. Thank you so much. Thank you, appreciate it. I saw a few questions. Mr. Flipside, I always worry about governments that think they are the country they represent. This is exactly what happened in Russia. Please learn from our mistakes. Do not make your own. Look at us. Mika Hankaniemi, liberalism values are rights to the individual. With liberalism comes individualism. Liberalism holds freedom from something and freedom for something as its central value. Well, Mika, thanks for your opinion. I disagree with you a little bit, but that's pointless to discuss it here, Like I said, as long as a person has good intentions, is well-natured, is decent, honest, then doesn't really matter to me. Mike Dupree, I continue to keep you in my prayers. Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you, I appreciate it. Paula McDonald, so if we're family now, do you have a spare room for us to visit and couch hop? Come on over. Hey, this place is large. Like Lorna used to say when I would stop at the restaurant or a cafe, she always said, you gotta find a place with a table large enough for all of us. And this place is pretty darn large. Ronald, isn't the Russian Orthodox Church very patriotic? Well, it depends on what you call patriotic. There can be different meanings for patriotic, but in general, I don't like to talk about Russian Orthodox Church. Very, I used to say very dangerous topic. Well, not so dangerous anymore, but I just don't like to talk about it. LM, I pray for peace every day. Pray all dictators on the world disappear. Humanity must reign supreme. Much love, Constantine, mods and chat. Thank you so much. We praying for that too. Christian Potts, do you think that the Patriots pro-government are more genuine, afraid, or vengeful in their beliefs based on your experience? What is the capacity for forgiveness in both views? What founds your view? No way, I think. Well, it depends on the person, okay? But in general, I don't think that the Patriots, pro-government people, are more genuine, afraid, or vengeful in their beliefs. Afraid? Probably not. Brainwashed? Yes. Vengeful in their beliefs? Not sure about that. What's the capacity for forgiveness in both views? I don't know at this point. I hope that they have capacity to forgive. Well, so far it's a struggle in that department. What founds your view? My experience. I mean, what else can found my view? The way I was growing up, the way I was brought up, the way I was exposed to the world, my picture of the world that's in my head, that's what makes up my view. The experiences I've received around me. Black Cat, I was gonna say fancy place. Most of us could sit on that couch Couch is actually not that comfortable, but it's somewhat fancy place, yes. Don Walters, $5. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support. Also Black Cat and Christine Potts. Chris, 100 Norwegian crowns. Thank you very much. Much needed and very appreciated. More on this place. I was renting a place in April. Basically, it was like a studio divided into two parts with tiny bedroom I could barely fit into, and one couch I could sit on, and that's pretty much it, and a tiny kitchen. And I'm paying 2.5 times more now than that room with cockroaches and like its renovation was done last time in 1979, So it's pretty good deal that I'm getting on this apartment, because usually it goes much more expensive. But I like it. Nice bed, yeah, and definitely this spacious, tons of place, and for the family, for my mom, and for everyone else who wants to come. We'll definitely put everyone here. You're a freedom elf. I've never been called that before. A freedom elf. I like that. Adelanto, California, says Juan. Thank you. Not sure what it means though. Brother Randall, howdy. I love your new setup. It looks awesome. Thank you so much. One of the requirements was, well, the major requirement basically, it would be comfortable for me to stream. I need a place large enough so there's no echo, and basically a nice background, so to have somewhat decent picture. So Mark Griffith, hi from London. How much does an apartment like that cost per month? Anywhere from $1,300 to $1,700 dollars. I saw some apartments that are absolutely palaces, like huge ones, $2,000, but that's overkill for an overkill. So this one is about the price of much smaller, much more basic apartment in Moscow. But for Uzbekistan, for Tashkent, this is definitely huge. Uzbeks cannot afford this place. And this will not be given to Uzbeks, because they have places to stay, and they might rent, like a few young people might rent this as a bachelor pad for parties and stuff like that. And the landlords are very wary of people like that. So they prefer foreigners. Russians who come here are okay. By the way, this place was, just so you understand, this place was rented for $800 when it was brand new in 2018. That's how much the prices have gone up since then. $800, okay, which not much at all, Anyway, Brother Randall, thank you so much. Mark Booth, on a lighter note, have you tried the plov? Twice. One time I went with my friend on Sunday to have plov. Check out my Instagram, it's right there. And I just came back from my same friend. He was making plov at his house, and he had friends over. It was pretty darn good, So I tried it twice. One at the restaurant, the second time homemade. Both were perfect. Both were just great. Truffles, do you find people of Christian faith where you're now? Of course, tons of Russians, ethnic Russians who are born here, Christian, They've, born and raised in Tashkent, tons of them. I actually live not too far from the huge church, Eastern Orthodox Church, like 5-minute walk. Tashkent is a very international place. It's like melting pot. Muslims here, there's no like difference between Christians and Muslims. It's all people of Tashkent, basically, and no one really pays much attention to religion. This is a very cool, unique place, and any of you who travels a lot, I really, really recommend this place for visit. Come and stay here. There are nice hotels. They're not hugely expensive, There's so much to see in this place. There's so much to do. Food is probably best in the world, arguably, but pretty close there. Fantastic place. Uzbekistan in general and Tashkent in particular. Tashkent, Samarkand, Khiva, Bukhara, these are the towns to visit. So you'll be all set for a couple weeks. They're huge, like great mountains, this desert, everything. Thank you so much, Truffles1111. This is a gift of thanks to the Lord for your safe passage. Give it to anything there that Jesus would do. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate this is a very generous present. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Jan Galik, greetings from Slovakia. Stay safe, Konstantin. Jan, thank you so much. Trying to stay safe. We'll see how I succeed. Couple more questions and we'll wrap it up today. Liberal conservative has shifted in past 20 years from what we knew in the 50s, 70s, 60s, 80s, and 90s. I grew up conservative. Now people need 3 jobs to live. That's disturbing. I keep hearing it from the Americans and Pamela J. That's, what can I say? Thanks for the information, but that's pretty disturbing. A pretty good question from A. Do citizens have a moral responsibility for the direction the government is going and for its bad actions? A lot of Russians actually say, no, we're not responsible because we can't do much. What can we do? I think it's our responsibility. I personally feel responsible for what my government has done because this is my government. This is my country, my tax money, my world, my freedom. Okay? And I have allowed it. I've been allowing it to happen for the past 20 years. And I sincerely apologizing. I'm saying, please, Ukrainians, forgive me personally for that. Other Russians, well, perhaps few feel responsibility also. And most, they don't. They say, well, it's not our fault. The government is independent. It's doing its thing. And we're doing our thing. So what can I do? Where's light, there's hope. Thank you so much, Brian. I totally agree with you. Paula, I feel responsible by our actions or inactions. My point exactly, yes. Ferrari guy, how do those same Russians feel about external forces taking responsibility to change Russia, much like it was done to Germany after World War II? Well, right now everyone's paranoid, since Vladimir Putin said the biggest threat is the loss of sovereignty by Russia. Well, you know what? Didn't you have to think about this 10 years ago, 5 years ago, perhaps before February 24th? You're saying it now, but that's a little too late. So right now Russians are not feeling good about it, but we'll see what happens in the future. Thank you so much. Someone saying we'll love you. I'll love you too. I love you all too. Thank you so much. Brian Stuvik. That is my house, says John Parla. S. Reed, I am an old school Democrat with moral values, not this new socialist democracy. Really, I'm just independent now. Never change it from Democrat. LOL. S. Reed, I think that's one of the big problems. The essences of both Democrats and Republicans have changed in the last years. That's a topic for a different stream. John, Constantine, have you ever visited the historic city of Hiva? Never. I just passed through once. It's not considered that I visited it. Like, I want to visit this time. I want to visit Bukhara, Hiva, and perhaps Samarkand. We'll see. Perhaps when my family comes over, I'm gonna take them to one of the cities. But that's Hiva is definitely, it's like 6,000 year old. It used to be a huge center of the Silk Road, and very important city in the past. Still has walls, castle walls. They've been intact for like thousands of years, and pretty cool place. Ryan, do you remember the constitutional crisis of 93? No, Ryan, I've never heard of it actually. I'm sorry. Brianna, thank you so much. You're right, Constantine. For badly needed medical procedures, Ireland gave me more access to services. I pray for positive change. Prayers for you. Brianna, thank you so much, and my prayers for you also. Lisa Kumran about plov. I like your comment. Yeah, I know. You know what? Armenian food is perhaps like in top 3 in the world. It's Uzbek, Armenian, and Georgian. Oh, Armenian is so good. Time to pray, says Nightbot. Well, Nightbot knows better. Okay, so Kimberly Getz, thank you so much. And let's pray. By the way, I got this good new tea. I'm going to make, well, already made a video. I'm going to upload it for patrons and for the sponsors tomorrow. The first time I brewed tea in this apartment, and it was pretty good. So I showed the process, so to speak. So tune in if you're a sponsor or Patreon. Please tune in, and if you're not, please sign up. It's not much, you know. You'll get lots of interesting stuff there. Thank you. My friends, please join me in prayer as usual. I'm asking everyone who's in the stream right now. Let's do it. Dear God, thank you so much for giving us a wonderful day. Thank you for putting food on our tables and roofs over our heads, please. Well, thank you for surrounding us with the loved ones and people who we love. Please help our children. Keep them safe and healthy, and give us wisdom and smarts so we raise them the way that when they grow up they make this world a better place and will never fight with one another. Thank you. Dear God, please help stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. The country and its people need your help. It needs peace. People need break. People need to go back to normal lives. Please help everyone who's been affected. Please send help their way, strength, forgiveness, recovery, answer their prayers and make their wishes come true. Please send angel to every single person who is in Ukraine, needs your help. Please keep everyone out of their harm's way, so not one single blood of drop is shed anymore. Please reach out leaders who can make decision to stop this bloodshed and touch their hearts, fill them with love, mercy, empathy, forgiveness. Make their hearts tender, open their eyes so they see what has been done, and they stop the bloodshed. Please reach out and touch hearts of Vladimir Putin and Joe Biden. Fill them with love, mercy, compassion, empathy. Please make them forget, make them forgive. Make them stop the bloodshed. Help everyone who has been helping Ukrainians, opening their hearts, homes, wallets, sending prayers. Also, please help everyone who is traveling, simply traveling, and running for their lives, trying to escape dire situations. Please send help to people who are in that position. Please please send help to everyone who's seeking for asylum in other countries and was forced to just get up and leave. It's a very bad situation, trying situation for all of them, so they need your help. Please help all pregnant women who are trying to make a decision whether to keep a baby or not. Reach out and talk to them so they all make right decision. Please help everyone in this stream. Thank you for making us come here all together, and thank you for ability to pray. Please help everyone in the stream. Please answer their prayers, everyone's prayer, and make everyone's wish come true. I am asking you to put sense, common sense, and love into the hearts of people who make decisions whether to use nuclear weapons or not. Please do not allow that happen. Please touch everyone's hearts who need to be touched. Please put common sense into everyone's heads who needs to be put common sense into the heads. Just don't let it happen, please. We are humbly asking you to not let it happen. Please help my country, Russia. Send an army, the army of strongest angels with sharpest swords, led by Saint Michael in shining armor, to get rid of the demons that have hijacked my country, and make it run by angels, so my country is righteous and shining again. I would like to ask for a few people who need your help. Please help. Rafaela From and her daughter Anna, Priscilla, Michelin, King Nero, Gaby Hyman, Martin, John, Donald, Allison Day Moyers, I found Waldo, Liz, Deborah, Isabel Legault, may her father rest in peace, Janice Burgess, Maureen M. and her sister, Ariana, Terry Scruggs, Liz Dumbrell's ex-husband, Bruce B., Kayleen, Michael, Thomas, Tony, Bob, Jessica, Minutes to Midnight, Sandy Workman and her husband Rod, Mr. Hanson, Heidi Howitz, Golden Griffon, Terry Carter, Carol Reed, praying for liberty to be kept intact in the United States as a request of many people. Please help Jacob with his bad addiction. Make him feel better and make that addiction disappear. Robert Morgan's sister, please help. Michael Milkovich, who's heading for a serious health procedure, please help. Cindy Braddock needs to recover from surgery. Elena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie, Galina, and Igor. Buzz, Jean-Paul, Paula, Janine, Marlene, Susan, S, Fiona, Madeline, Stephen, Alan, Freddie, Sabrina, Felicia, Paul Binns, Pre-Chess father, Rudy Kaisley's sister, Richard going for the heart surgery, Robert Morgan's sister, Mallory M, please help with her professional situation. May Scott Nesbitt's sister rest in peace and please help Scott. Dirk Misler's father who's recovering, please speed up the recovery and make him feel better soon. Thank you for giving safe birth of a new girl, daughter of Rizika Hem. Please help the baby. She is new to this world. Please keep her safe and keep her healthy and keep all the babies who are just born healthy and safe. And so their parents are just full of joy and never shed tears over their health or bad situations. Please help James Rhodes, who's going for heart surgery. Richard Burris, also heart surgery. Ace, Brendan. Oh, Ace, I'm sorry, just Ace. And user common sense. Brittany S. needs your help. Lars Henrik's father. Wait for it. Lane Hankins. Bridget Apley. Please rest soul of Britzel Andrews in peace, and please give her family strength to go over the tragedy. Help Hannah and her children. Please, again, help everyone who is praying or watching us pray right now. Make their wishes come true and prayers answered. Thank you so much, dear Lord. Amen. My friends, thank you so much for coming. Thank you. I'll have another message for you today. It's all lined up until the end of the week, actually. There will be a private stream on Saturday for all patrons and sponsors. Thank you, and you're awesome, and you rock, and I will see you tomorrow.